nice bright sunny day in Toronto. I think last time when I said that it has been cloudy, God heard me, and then तब से it's been sunny. I don't want to jinx it, touch wood, but I hope it remains sunny. Anyways, आज के वीडियो में हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं अबाउट हाउ टू सेव, कैसे सेव करना है, कहाँ सेव करना है. We'll be also talking about investment options for students, for everyone. Honestly, it's not just for students. For anyone who's looking to invest, we're going to be talking about low risk investment options. We'll also be talking about high interest savings account, GICs, basically every saving option that you guys have. So, first of all, when you start saving, the first thing that you need to ask yourself is, why am I saving? So before we even start the video, before we even start, okay, yeah, like where do we invest? Ask yourself this question, okay, yaar, why do I wanna invest? What is my goal? So the type of investments that you will do will actually depend on the goal that you set. If it's for a short term goal, like buying a car or maybe paying your tuition fees or something like that, then you would be better suited to take up investment options or savings option. Just may you can easily cash them after maybe a year, or just may you get good interest rates for a short period of time. But if you're looking to plan for long term, okay, you need to buy a house maybe like after 5 years, or maybe you wanna save up for your retirement or something like that. So then uske liye the criteria will be different, because then you will be looking at options where you can earn more interest over time, right? And your risk appetite would also increase because you're going in for the longer run and you cannot really predict कि आगे क्या होगा इतनी जल्दी, right? So first, वो ऑब्जेक्टिव सेट कर लो कि why are you like investing, and in this video we'll be talking about both long term and short term goals, so you should be good. So now let's get right into the video and let's get started. So the first thing that I have here, if you guys have a short term goal, or if you're just looking to save some money to like pay your tuition fees, or you just wanna like save some money for a short term goal, always you should go for a high interest savings account. Now, I think I talked about this in my first video where I said that high interest savings account is basically just a savings account, but it gives you a lot more interest than the regular interest rate that banks give you. So now the regular interest rate on savings account is very, 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 very low. It's like 0.10%, or I think even lesser than that, which is again a very low fraction of what you're going to be getting as an interest. And it's basically pointless to honestly just like save up in a normal savings account. So we would always prefer a high interest savings account. Here are some options that you guys can actually look at for high interest savings account. So we have Simply here. Simply is just like an online bank, which is by CIBC. It's under CIBC's realm. You can open a free checking account. There is no minimum deposits that's required. There's no minimum balance, and you will earn 5.25% interest for the first 5 months. After that, you will earn 0.40% interest, which is still more than the normal rate that banks give you. Again, then we have CIBC. Now, CIBC savings account is a really good one because I personally use it too. Their regular interest rate is 1.50%, and they have this scheme called Smart Interest Program. So if you save like $200 per month, you get plus 0.50 interest, so you get in total like 1.90% interest, close to 2%, which is a good rate of interest to give. Then we have Tangerine here. Tangerine has a 1% regular interest rate, and they have a 5% interest rate for the first 5 months. We also have Oaken Savings Account, that's under Home Trust. So for Oaken Savings Account, the regular interest rate is 1.4%, and for Home Trust, the regular interest rate is 4.2%. Now, Home Trust ke liye you need a minimum deposit though for $1,000, so you have to keep that in mind. So those are the options for your high interest savings account. Moving on to GIC. Now, what is a GIC? It's a guaranteed investment certificate. It's basically where you put in your money, which is the principal amount. For example, if the GIC is for $1,000, and the interest rate on the GIC will be, let's say, 5%. So 1000 ka 5% would be 200. So at the end of 1 year, for example, if you're doing a GIC for a year, you'll get $1,200. So that's how a GIC basically works. It's a really good investment. There is practically very less, like no risk at all, but there's no such term as no risk, because every time like there is some risk, but it's CDIC insured, because all the banks can give you a GIC. Some good rates that a few banks give you, I know, is TD, even CIBC, Scotia, all of them give you good GIC rates. Normally they are between like three, if it's like a very like short term GIC, like for 100 days cashable, then it's like 3% or 4%. But if it's like a year or more than a year, it's like normally between 5 to 6%. So these are all the banks that try GICs. You can always check them out and compare by yourself, like which is the best GIC and which bank give you the best offer. And I would recommend, if you're in Canada, just talk to a financial advisor in any of these banks. Normally जो rate वो लोग बोलते हैं ना that this is the rate that we're gonna give you, sometimes they can tweak it a bit, I guess. And so try your best to get yourself the best offer, but these are the GIC options that you will have. Then after that, and also for GIC you can use it for short term and long term goals. For short term, there are GICs that are for 100 days, for a year, for more than a year. There are GICs for 5 years. So you are set for long term and short term. But I would personally recommend, okay, if you have a long term goal, try not to go for GICs and go for investments, because GICs may the interest rate and the rewards would be lesser as compared to an investment that you put in into the equity or the money funds market, right? So moving on, we have done HISA, we have done GIC. Moving on to investments, I'm going to be talking about some low risk investment options for you guys. So the first low risk investment option that you have is bonds. Now, what are bonds? Bonds are basically just money that is lent by you to the government. Normally bonds are issued by the government, and bonds की जो interest rates होती है, they are also good. And bonds are anywhere between 1 to 30 years. So again, they are also for short term and long term. After that, something else that you can do, if you really want to like go into the share market, in the equity market, but you don't want high risk and you don't want to lose your money a lot, you're afraid कि कुछ तो हो जाएगा loss, then you can always go for something which is called investment, sorry, diversified investment portfolio. I've written everything down here and here I'm forgetting. I don't know what's up with me, but anyways. So always you can go for a diversified investment portfolio. What does this mean is that if you buy shares, like for example, you buy shares थोड़े बहुत of the healthcare sector, थोड़े बहुत of the technological sector, you buy a few shares which belong to the financial sector, a few public sector shares, private sector shares. What will happen is that you will your risk appetite, your risk level would be lesser, because for example healthcare shares are dipping because something has happened in the market, right? So healthcare shares are dipping, technological sectors are dipping, but then the financial sectors are increasing. So overall there are very less chances कि आपको loss होगा, and there are more chances कि either you will like gain a lot, or you would gain a bit, but there would be very little chance that you will have a loss, because even if one sector would be suffering, there would be for sure कोई और sector that is flourishing. And if you have like a basket of shares जिसमें हर एक fruit है of every sector, you will still be okay, you will still be doing well. So that's a tip that you can use. You can diversify your portfolio, and rather than putting all your eggs in one basket, just put every egg in one basket. The next option that you can actually go for are index funds. Now, what are index funds? So basically, जैसे यहाँ पे we have like S&P 500. S&P 500 basically has shares or stocks of the top 500 companies. Now, if you take an index fund, for example, I know Vanguard investment fund. I think Vanguard's index funds are really good because I invest in Vanguard. So I feel like Vanguard index funds are really great. I'm gonna put some options here for you guys where you can actually see that these are some good index funds. Obviously, use your own knowledge, do your own analysis, and then see आपके लिए कौन best बैठता है. But these are just like 3-4 index funds that I find that are really doing good right now. So index funds में यही होता है कि basically they are a composite of all the top companies that are doing well. So for example अभी S&P 500 में, since it's like the top 500 companies, you would be like, okay, so those are the top 500 companies, so they are doing well, that's why they are in the index. And this index fund is like a small screenshot of the S&P 500. So if this is doing well, your index fund is also doing well. And normally S&P 500 में जो top companies होती है वही होती है. So again, there's a less chance of a loss there. So yeah, I think that's it for today's video, and we really briefly talked about all the investment options that you have. You still again have more options, like you can still again go for dividend paying shares. That is also a safe option. You can always invest individually, you can invest in ETFs, but वो सब थोड़ा ज़्यादा, like it's not a high risk but it's not low risk, it's like mid risk. And either I just wanted to be safe with everyone, and I just wanted you guys to explore some safe options, especially if you're just beginning. So take a look into all the options that we have talked about in this video and consider what's best for you. See you in the next video. Have a nice day.